Yeah. Amazing. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. We've got quite a few people coming into the room here, so we'll give everyone a couple of minutes. But I wanted to introduce you guys to Yoni, who developed FetchitAI. Hello, hello.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Well, I can vouch for myself. I'm freezing, just like I was saying a minute ago. But for those of you hopping on, Yoni and I have gotten to know each other, especially over this last year, and he's been working on this technology for some time. And we've been kind of watching over his shoulder for some time as he's been developing it. So we're super excited to have the technology at the point that it's at, and he's super excited to show it off. So, everyone who starts anything new, they're kind of like, still developing it at the beginning and working out all the kinks. And so now it's really getting to a point where it's streamlined and user friendly and time to show off. So we are excited to take a look at the back side of it. But, without further ado, I'm going to hand the mic over to you and just let you show it off.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. That was a very warm intro. Yeah, I've been working on this for quite a while now, and I'm just going to click screen share if that's okay. All right, 1 second. Let me click screen share. I'll just tell everybody a little bit about me. So and by the way, you see the whole screen. Everybody can see everything. Okay, cool. A little bit about me. My name's Yonatan. Yoni is what my friends call me, so feel free to call me that. Waxman. I am from Cleveland, Ohio, also from the cold. I escaped the cold to Miami during COVID. Midwest boy at heart, Buckeye at heart. Also, I live in Miami, oldest of 6, basketball fan, love to work out, but I also love Airbnb more. Like many people in the Airbnb world, when COVID happened, a lot of businesses changed and forced a lot of people to pivot. I launched my first Airbnb in downtown Cleveland right before the NBA All-Star game. So those basketball fans out there that are familiar with the Midwest and with NBA, you know that for Cleveland, everybody's going to run out of the house. Doesn't matter if it's cold. It doesn't matter if it's peak cold to get to the All-Star game. I knew I had to get that unit launched before, and I rushed to get the unit launched. Rushed like completely crazy. I paid extra to get rush delivery on everything from the TV down to the couch, everything. Got it launched literally the night of, and then got $1,000 booking. My life literally changed that night forever. Since then, I'm doing a ground up development in Tennessee, but what I'm most focused on is this. So when I was getting Airbnbs, whether it be arbitrage units, ground up development, or looking for a house, whatever it is I was particularly focused on, I thought the process was very complicated. I thought I had to go on Zillow and sift through all these listings and then copy and paste into things, call a bunch of brokers. Some would call me back, some wouldn't. I didn't even know if I was getting a call back while at work. I didn't know what they were calling me back about. And I just felt like, as not the genius in the room, that I felt like stupid, to be honest. I was like, I can't keep up with the hustle of this. And I see all these people on Instagram doing great, and I didn't feel like I was doing great. So like, why don't I build it at a technology background? I said, I feel like I can make something a little bit simpler. So that's what we're here to talk about, is the tool that we built over the last, I would say, 9 months, been improving it every day. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. But are there any questions? Because I just rambled for like 5 minutes straight.
I don't think so, but I'm keeping up.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to break this down. So what everybody is looking at is the main dashboard. So what's the main dashboard? It's where you look for properties. So right in here, if I zoom in here, I can search. It's defaulted to Los Angeles, California, which is, a city that I like. So I just told the developer, just like default it to LA. Our filters, when you're looking for a property, you can actually look for purchase or arbitrage opportunities, which I think is really cool. You can search for house, apartment, or land. And you can also have additional filters for HOA, reduced price on Zillow or something like that, foreclosure or not foreclosure, and then how long it's been on market, which shout out to the Sub2 community for giving me this idea. So that's one thing. So we're going to do some live searches. That's typically how I do live calls. I just want to show you guys the two other sides to the site so you understand the different legs to the stool. So that's leg to stool number 1. And by the way, if I'm going too fast, Sarah, just catch me. Then we also have Fetchit University. So a lot of people here have joined different mentorship groups, and like this one. What we wanted to do was we wanted to niche it out a little bit. So I've reached out to different people that I know from my network, and we're going to eventually make this geography-based focus, but to start, we're not. So we have a coach per Airbnb segment. So Tony is a arbitrage subleasing guy. Lindsay, I'm going to zoom in just so people can see. Tony is an arbitrage guy. Lindsay is a glamping gal. David is a midterm guy. Derek is new construction, but he's syndicated over $100 million in deals. So if you have questions about how to raise money, honestly, Derek should have an Instagram, but he doesn't want to do it. So I thought that was another good reason to have him on here. And then we have Nico Lindley, who's a San Francisco gal, but does like Airbnbs and fix and flips in Italy and Barcelona, which is so badass. Got to introduce you to her, by the way. So that's leg of the stool number 2. So you can book 30-minute sessions, hour sessions, or month-over-month coaching with them. So that's live. And then lastly, we have Airbnb. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't want to talk your ears off, guys, but we have Airbnb trained VAs. So for those that are like, no Airbnb, I personally can't live without a VA. Like I can't do anything without a VA. So what we did is I did a joint venture with a virtual assistant company in the Philippines that have people on the ground, and you can actually hire a virtual assistant to do your messaging, your tech management. That's like here, I'll just zoom in a little because I know. So your messaging is just like your Airbnb messaging, right? Like guest has an inquiry. I need to quickly pre-approval, not pre-approval, decline, quickly do it quickly or I'm going to lose it, right? Airbnb tech management, that's my guest theme, my wheelhouse, my price labs, my point centrals, et cetera, et cetera. And so we have like internal training videos on that. Accounting and bookkeeping, that's just, they can do that also, right? Smart home management. So for my Airbnbs that I have, I have a Ring and I have an August lock, and those need to be managed a little bit. So like you would select one of these and book a time, right? So let's say you'd click on this. Let's just click continue. We're going to fake like we're hiring one. And then you'd meet with Andrea in our linked Calendly, and then you would describe what you need, your portfolio. I have 1 unit, 5 unit, 10 unit, 20 unit, whatever it is. You describe the time zones you need them to work, and then they would source somebody for you. Right now, we're averaging, depending on what you need, about $9 an hour VA. So just keep that in mind. I know I just threw a lot at everybody, but that's everything Fetchit can do. We can get your property, we can teach you how to do it, and we can also manage it for you. Any questions so far before I get into like asking the audience, what kind of place would you like to look for a property for? All right.
I have one question. I'm assuming all of the VAs that you're outsourcing the work to are already familiar with Airbnb. That's kind of
yes, that's a great question, Sarah. So they're pre-trained on Airbnb. So what I've done is, as the Airbnb operator, I've gone to them and to different operators in the space, and I'm like, you know, what are the PMSs that you use? What are the smart pricing tools that you use? And so we just took the most popular ones. We don't want to take on VRBO because, I mean, honestly, they could pick it up quickly. I just didn't want to market it. But, and, you know, we just run the ball on that, right? So we just train them on those tools, and they have to watch like sometimes 2 hour long videos with quizzes. But if they pass, we present them to the client.
amazing.
Have you trained them on, maybe I just missed it, sorry. Have you trained them on Guesty?
Yes, and that name looks super familiar. I think I know you, but yes.
Here, let me turn my camera off. There's usually it's Lauren. Hey, we've met before.
Yeah, I remember you. Hi.
Yeah, so my avatar is like a blonde lady, and somehow my Airbnb avatar is a blonde lady, and somehow that blonde lady has made it onto some of my other platforms. Really weird. So I don't know if you can see the blonde lady as my profile picture, but it's not the blonde lady, it's me.
Well, I'm happy to see you again, because you were in Chris Choi's thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have to talk on another time. I just had someone on the podcast who also was in one of those. We'll talk about that.
We met at HostCon back in January. That's where I also met Sarah.
Oh, dope. That's awesome. Legend. Well, thanks for hopping on. So, okay, so ask me anything.
Yeah, I will. So you were saying, yes, they are trained on using the Guesty platform.
Yes.
As well as like most commonly known STR sites. Like maybe it's like Price Labs, or like they're trained on your basic
Yes.
functions.
Not everything. So like if you ask for something in the opening interview and we don't have it, we're going to be like, we can't do that. And then we'll just
Okay.
tell you like, this is a one-off and maybe we need time to add it. You know what I
Got it.
mean?
Okay.
But
That was a
yes.
great question though, Sarah, is like, are they trained on STR? Right. Which, okay. That's
Yeah.
good to know. That's super cool.
Yeah. Thank you. I think so too. I want to make sure that like people really, are using everything from getting the property to like, you know, making it easier to manage.
Yeah.
And I just started marketing Fetchit University and the VA. So like I just barely started telling the public about it.
Yeah.
So this is a really cool time. I mean, technically you could say this is the first time I'm publicly talking about all of it in a group setting.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank
Mhm.
you, Lauren.
Yeah. I'll remute myself. Nice
Yeah, no,
seeing
no,
you.
you totally, yeah, the more questions, the better. Because, you know, it tells me where the most of the interest is. I would say, if people are interested, and I can't see the chat, but, we can do an actual search for a property if people want to do that. And if you have any other questions about Fetchit University or the VAs, I can just answer that as it comes.
Can we do somewhere in Colorado? Can we do one of like the heavy hitting Colorado ski towns? Because I'm looking there and I'm running into all kind of, I think your services will actually be of use here. I'm currently in Houston and it's wide open. Like you can do anything and everything in Houston. So I don't feel like that's one that makes sense, but maybe like a random town in Colorado that has heavy restrictions. Yeah. Denver is one of them too.
Okay, cool. I actually learned how to snowboard in Vail. Fun fact.
I learned how to ski out there as well, but I'm not good at it. I can barely go down a blue. Find me on the greens for sure.
I'm not like that good at it. I don't want to say like I'm that good at it. I'm definitely like, I would be in the back and like struggling through here. Okay, so I'm just, stop me if you see something cute or cool or whatever. I'm just gonna scroll through. So let me tell you guys like what's going on. So these are just random houses in Denver. And this is the list sale price, okay? And then this is what we think it would be booked up if it was this month, and this is the average daily rate that we would think you could charge, right? Average being the operative word. And I know we're in these groups because we're striving to be excellent, and I always like highlight that the average is iPhone photo quality and not Carwell level design. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, that is the above average design. Okay, way above average. Okay, so Lauren, if you see something that you like, just tell me to stop. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, let's grab that 914 North Ogden Street. Doesn't really matter. I'm just curious how the platform works. So
Okay, cool. So let me just zoom in. Okay, I'm gonna get really granular with you. Okay, this is the list price. This is a 5-bed, 4-bath. It has a basement. It has square footage. We have a little bit of a bug right now, but it's actually we're working on fixing it, where we are actually listing where hospitals are nearby for those people that like MTRs. It's not, we had it on V1 and then it fell off when we launched V2. It's annoying. I'm fixing it, but you will be able to know like how close by a hospital is.
yeah.
And like MTR is exploding because ordinances are exploding, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So Lauren, you mentioned ordinances. Do you see this button right here?
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to click it for you. All right. Now I realize that this is not beautiful, nor does it have it's not easy to read icons, but what I'm very proud to say is we're the first company to call and collect all the dirty data of all the ordinances around the country. So we have like 550 cities right now around the country of the ordinances. So I'll just read like the first couple sentences so I don't like make everyone bored. City of Denver defines an STR as the provision of lodging to guests for less than 30 days. Okay, sounds like we're familiar with this, in exchange for remuneration. Importantly, only primary residents can operate as Denver short-term rentals. Okay, well, we've seen this in other markets before. That's super annoying. A primary residence refers to the place where an owner habitation is fixed to the owner's usual place of return. So in LA, like in Beverly Hills, a lot of people have a back house. That's like what they turn their Airbnb into. Like they live in the front house, their Airbnb's back house. This is kind of an annoying market, to be honest with you, and probably a market that MTRs make sense. Except what I would say is in your underwriting, my recommendation would be to be you know, really, really thoughtful. I don't have an MTR prediction yet on the site. I'm thinking about it. You know, I told Jesse Vasquez, like tapped him on the shoulder, like when we did our podcast, like, by the way, like I would love you and others that are that are thought leaders at MTR. When I feel like I've improved the site enough, I would love to like take on that feature, and I don't want to take on that feature right now. But I would say that Denver is an MTR, looks like an MTR market if you get the right price at a house. Like I just saw, Lauren, a house for about $500,000 when we were searching. That's like a house that I would think about, because the lower, if I can get at least a minimum 3-bedroom and I can make it into an MTR in Denver, maybe that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like that way,
So
I don't
the ordinance section is going to tell you the basic things that you need to understand, you know, the taxes, any fees, like our license, you have to say, you must have for the area. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Lauren, I don't know if you remember, but we actually bonded at HostCon, just FYI. Like I do remember you. I was talking about you today to the other person who was in Choi's group. But yes, that is exactly it. And I've literally gotten quotes. I've gotten people that told me they've signed up just for the ordinances.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, that's huge, because
I was like,
it's
damn,
like
dude. Like,
impossible to find these things, you know, like
yeah,
you have to read through the city sites, and like it just is not, it's very time consuming for sure.
yeah, like for me, okay, so I'm doing, if for those that, I hope everyone follows me on Instagram after, because like I'm building the business in public, very much in public, and that's how like I've built trust with Emily and Sarah like over time, because they see like everything I'm doing. They're like, this guy's for real every single day. So like one of the things you'll see is we pump this a lot. We pump this a lot. Like I really think for me, this was a huge area. So where I learned the Airbnb business was through Rob's host camp. And
Yeah.
for me, even being in host camp with like 1,000 plus, whatever it is now, 5,000 plus people. Fuad, nice. I love that guy. Yeah, legend. I really was very confused, like city to city, county to county, like where I'm building the Smokies, like my city falls outside of any ordinance. And then like, if I go down the block, I have to get a permit. It was just very confusing. So I'm really proud that we have this.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think this is dope. This is like extremely time
yeah.
saving.
Yeah, huge time saving. Because what are you gonna do? Call people like across the country deciding where you want to invest? It's annoying.
Yeah.
So we do this for you, and so we consider that to be very valuable and times. I'm just gonna look at the chat. Oh, thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. OH, yeah.
I have a quick question for you. So you mentioned that you've got the regulation on like 550 cities across the US.
Yeah.
Is there a way, like say for Emily and I, we tend to target smaller markets, right? That have maybe a little bit of regulation, but not a ton of regulation, but they're not popular travel markets at all. Is there a way for us or like people who are using your app who have to still do the research on the regulation to add the regulation? So it's like, or submit the regulation to you. So then if we've already gone through the process, it can easily be added on there for like the next person.
Yeah. You just made me so excited. Okay, wait, I'm gonna go back. So give me the market that you're thinking of, because I probably don't have it if it's a small market.
Bitely, Michigan.
Spell it for me.
Bitely.
I normally would like not rush to show something that I don't have, but I just want to show you what you can do.
Okay.
Second here. Okay, so let's just click on a house. Okay, I'm just gonna click on a random house, and I don't think I have this ordinance. Okay, yeah, I was right. Okay, so you see this button right here?
Mhm.
The request ordinance. I'm gonna click it. Request sent. So what happens is I have somebody that works for me. His only job is to get these.
Beautiful.
So like they'd get it. But what I do want to add, you just gave me a feature idea, is to submit ordinance. So I might add a form. I'm going to add a form because you asked. By the way, this is where I get all my ideas, like talking to people that want to use it. So I might add a form, and if you want, we'll review. We can do like where you submit what you think it is. We would verify it, because I just don't want to add anything and then we're wrong. Y'all will be right, but what if like somebody's like trying to get me? You know what I mean? So
Right.
But that's where it is, guys. So like, if you want to know about an ordinance and you request it, we usually work on it within a week or two.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's like, yeah, that's like what it is.
Another
Okay.
thing you mentioned is that like from street to street, sometimes ordinances change, right? Like eventually an ordinance is going to break over to another county. So would that all be dependent, like in your little search feature, can you only search by city or can you search a specific address?
Wait, hold on. I'm going to answer your question and then Jacob's. Okay. So, the way you can't search for an address on this platform. So the way we differentiate it, and there are free tools that do that. You go Ravu and like Rentalizer and stuff like that. So what we do is we're taking as much as we can grab off the MLS and we're telling you what we think it'll earn. The thing is, we don't want to get into the put an address in business for at least another 9 months. And I have a very specific reason why. I have a really smart team of data scientists working. We're looking to collect 1 year of Airbnb data starting from like Christmas. What we're going to be doing in a year, I don't know if this is going to be helpful or not, but we are going to be providing like new data metrics like average tiny house revenue, average A-frame revenue, average rare Airbnb revenue, which is like actually relevant, or like for like somebody who wants to do a glamping site, you think you can just go into AirDNA and like put in average bedroom bathroom. It doesn't really apply. And I noticed this problem like early on in my Airbnb journey when I was just deciding like, oh, I want a glamping site. It's like, well, it's not a house. I don't actually know how to comp the thing. Nobody does actually. Like people that do it and have the guts to do it, no. But like it was very hard for me as a rookie to figure that out. So that's what we're doing in a year. You can't do the addresses now. Regarding the ordinances, city and county, we upload them city and county. So we preload them into the site that way. Nobody else does that. So we're the only ones with that data. Unless somebody decides.
You can search by county, but not by street.
Well, we will, if we can detect that something's, in a particular county, or like, for example, where I am in Tennessee, where I'm developing, I have a Sevierville address, but I'm in Jefferson County. Jefferson County doesn't have a regulation, but Sevier County does. It's not a big regulation. It's just get a permit. It's not like a lot, but like, so we make sure to like check those things. Are we going to make a mistake ever? I don't want to say we're never going to make a mistake, but we damn sure triple, quadruple check. And so actually that's why the submit ordinance thing is a super smart idea, because we'll let the community help us with that. And I'm going to steal that idea all the way. I'm going to check the chat for a couple questions. Yes, Jacob, to your second question, yes, but that's like in 9 months, so don't get too excited. We have a while to go. I have a team, and I post what the team is doing all the time on Instagram. Like I said, I build in public, so if you want to follow me and like give me suggestions as we're growing, I fully want that. How often do you update ordinances as laws are changing? Okay, praying I don't have a little bug, but you should have. It should say, okay, so you see last updated. I'm still working on this, but it should say it's a bug. I'm sorry about that, but it should say the date last time we called the county right there. And we'll fix that by tonight, but that's like in here what it says. So you'll know. So Jacob, really, really good question, Jacob. I can tell that you have a lot of attention to detail. Thank you, Jacob. And we actually have a last updated thing right there. That'll be back. The actual dates will be preloaded back in tonight. I'm going to write that down just to fix that. But yes, that's why we have it, because, right, like, for example, in Cleveland, thank you, Jacob. You get it. So, because like in Cleveland, Ohio, I just had a customer sign up in Cleveland, which is my hometown. And they're like, yeah, I want to do an arbitrage unit in Cleveland, but I don't know what the ordinance is, because people keep hearing about ordinances, even when they're rookies, they don't know if there is one or there isn't one. And then I was like, shit, I should actually check, even though I have a unit in Cleveland. So I called the city. They were giving me a huge hard time. I had to call the assistant transferred us to planning and zoning. That was a whole ping pong. And then we found out, oh, why are they dragging us along? They're adding an ordinance in July, which is bullshit, by the way, but that's why we have last updated. So great question by Jacob. I'm just going to go up. I'm a being Calc AirDNA user for data, and Fetchit is appealing for the ordinances specifically. Things change on a dime. How up to date is the info kept? So Misty, we just answered your question. We have a last updated. So, oh, how often? I try quarterly to update it. Quarterly. Because I might miss something. Somebody might add an ordinance. I don't know. And we'll have last updated right here. That'll be done on the site tonight. OH, well, I love you. Can I mute to clap? Yeah, you can clap whenever you want. Let me see at the bottom. What is the best ways to reach out? Do you suggest features? DM me all day long. DM me. I am, unfortunately, as I'm going the Instagram route, I'm become addicted to it even more than my text. So yes, I will answer you as fast as I can, unless I'm on an airplane. Yes. So that's a little bit of a thing on the ordinances. Oh, a new feature that we're also going to be adding, and we're still in the process of collecting the data, is in the next, I would say, 2 months, we're going to add zoning laws relating to STRs. So if you're in ground up development, which I am, you will find very quickly that that they will tell, they don't necessarily have it on their 1985 built website, but they don't want STR developers building like anything. You can't like put a warehouse down in a particular area and be like, I want the warehouse to have a bunch of cubicles and we're going to turn them, like, you can't do that. You can't just turn a warehouse they might tell you like mobile home can do an STR, duplex can do an STR, not multifamily. I'm just giving like a stupid example. So I'm currently collecting that. I don't want to show our Google Sheets that like where we put all of our information. But like we're collecting that every day. We're getting like, we've actually collected most of the national parks now. Like we're moving into the major markets. So that's like something we're adding outside of the actual law, Airbnb law ordinance. Yeah, so great questions, by the way, guys. Like this is super awesome group. Any other
I
questions?
have a question, or I guess maybe just an observation. When you were clicked into one of the properties, I see that it shows you your estimated revenue for the month as a short-term rental, but you're also including the estimated rent as a long-term rental. Will you dig into that a little bit more?
The reason I missed that is because I need more coffee. Okay, yes, I can. All right, let's just pull up my Midwest is best, Cleveland, Ohio, my hometown market, even though we got bounced in the playoffs like a bunch of losers by the New York Knicks, whatever. We don't have LeBron anymore. It's fine. Okay, so let's just pull up a Cleveland property. Okay, I'm just going to take this. Let me just find something that like looks half decent with a half decent average daily rate. Okay, what I'd like to get in the 300s, 328. Okay. Probably has a lot of bedrooms. Yep, 4 bedroom. Okay. So yeah, so something we're doing right now, which I'm really happy, is like so I've seen a lot of people. Now, I'm not the guy that has 25 units. I'm not. But I interview a lot of people with 25 units, 10 units, 5 units, 15 units, and they're really focused on expanding their portfolio. I'm focused on building an awesome platform. And the people that really know what they're doing, as I was paying attention to building this, is like underwrite as a long-term rental, underwrite as a long-term rental, underwrite as a long-term rental. And I'm like, damn, we should probably have that. So that's why that's there. Because this is something that I want to make sure that people like underwrite very conservatively. So if they have a long-term rental prediction, I feel like that will really help them a lot. And so that's why that's there. And I'm trying to think what else.
Plus, it's a great option. Like if shit hits the fan and you can no longer, for whatever reason, operate as an STR, I think what's always made me more secure about going into short-term rentals is screw it. I'll just list it as a long-term rental instead. And what you're saying, this feature is telling me that as a long-term rental, I could make $1,709 a month. Is that correct? Did I understand the data correctly?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. This is a great group, by the way. Honestly, not every group's like this. What I'll say is, we're gonna get better and better every day. We're gonna add features every day. What my dream, it's not there yet. Like I said at the beginning, I would love it to have the STR, MTR, LTR. MTR because I haven't seen anybody else do it. I have heard rumors that other companies are going to add an MTR, but I still would like to have it. That's something I'd like to add. I don't know how underwriting would work as an MTR. I would expect that becomes more popular the more ordinances pop up across the country. So I'm going to address that at some point when my team is not underwater with everything else I tell them to do. Let me see the chat. Could you show an example of the sublease view? Yes, Anna. All right. Can you get into the nitty gritty of the parameters of the dot colors? Okay. I will do both. Okay. So we are fixing it a little bit, but what we are based on average daily rate right now, the higher the average daily rate, the more towards green it goes. And then the less you go, the more towards red it goes. I'm actually planning on changing this. So I'm working on this right now. So that's what it's based on right now. So I would actually expect that to change a little bit going into the next couple of weeks because I'm working on this now. Now let's go to.
Hey, on that note right there, before you move on to the next question, are the properties that you're looking at that have like the green dots, right? Are these properties that have been pre-vetted where there's no like these could actually be short-term rentals, or is that still up to you to do your digging on the listing?
It's a great question. You're on fire. So what it would require, what we're just telling you is it's an indicator that you should take a look. You still have to check your ordinance that we list, and hopefully we list in most markets we list it, right? So you have to check you have to check your numbers, and you have to actually go see the property. I know a lot of people say like, they buy sight unseen, and like I've never done that. So I'm a little conservative. I'm a conservative minded thinker. Again, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. That's probably partially why. I would say like do your homework, go see it, find out what's going on. Like my first house I ever bought was a duplex that had a fire in the basement and I never knew. So like, because I'm just being honest. Like I didn't know anything about real estate at the time. I didn't know to look for it. And even the people that I brought missed it. So it was in the basement. It was like a dark, we ended up selling it and we were okay in the end, but like that could have been a problem. I don't know what was going on with the quality of the wood in the basement. That would have been a problem. So I would say always check everything. Check what we say, check the ordinance, check everything, but you can definitely rely on us to update this information all the time. And
Got it. I'm just trying to understand the level of vetting that has been done before this address has made it onto your Fetchit site.
So let me tell you how we do it. We take a for sale listing and we tell you how much we think it'll make. We also tell you, so it's not like we're taking 2 for sale listings and being like, I don't like the way this one looks. Like we're not doing that. We're taking anything that comes online, we're telling you what we think how we think it'll perform.
Understand.
And then we're updating it all the time, right? Like, so we're constantly updating our systems all the time, updating our numbers to, and sometimes you'll notice like, oh, it changed today. Like that's because we made a modification.
Okay.
Great questions, by the way. Let me just want to go in order here. Yeah, I'm from Cleveland, Cassidy, so I totally agree. But Midwest is best in terms of you can buy some of these properties all cash because it's a very affordable. You cannot do that in most of the country. So great cash flow, not a lot of vacancy. Okay, could you show an example of the sublease view? Yes, I can, Anna. Yes, we're gonna have the bookmark feature done next week, so you will be able to bookmark properties. Hold on one second. All right, so I'm gonna go to sublease. One second here.
Sublease is the term you're using for like rental arbitrage, right?
Yeah, I should probably change the word. Honestly, it's a good point.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I just was trying to follow.
Yeah. One second. All right, so let's just do this. Okay, one second. Let's just take this. Cleveland, Ohio. All right. And we're gonna search. Second here, I don't want a second. So sometimes, okay, so this is, I would say, okay, so you see how long this apartment's been on the market? That's crazy. So I don't know what's going on there, but you can see here, if I click on this apartment, right? Well, let's just find something a little nicer.
It might be a glitch because they all say that number of days on market.
Yeah, it might be. But okay, so here I have the rent amount, and here I have the gross revenue amount. So I think you know what my answer to this is. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it. Don't do it. I have an opinion on arbitrage, by the way, and just so everybody knows, I'm considering taking arbitrage off of Fetchit, just so everybody knows, and keeping it just to purchasing. But as of right now, it's still here. I just want everybody to know that I'm currently thinking that, so there's no surprises. But
Do
yeah,
you need me to take over the arbitrage side of it? Because that's how I got my business started. So we would have opposing views on it. Maybe that would be good.
yeah, no, I'm open to debate anytime. It's on the platform right now. But I just want everybody to know I'm debating taking it off. And by the way, I got into the business from arbitrage. So I'm not speaking badly on it. There's other reasons why I want the product to be like very focused. Okay, let's look at more. Keep it if people want it. Probably. Hey, listen, Lauren, that was you, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So maybe listen, if
What did I just offer? What did I just volunteer
if
for?
the voices are loud enough, maybe we'll keep it. One thing is that an out-of-state investor who self-manages a lot of regulations allow STRs but require a local representative. That would be super. One thing is an out-of-state investor self-manages a lot of regulations allow STRs but require a local representative. That'd be super helpful to know if they do or don't require local representatives. Jacob, can you speak up and talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, so a lot of different areas. Some are super short-term rental friendly, and as an out-of-state investor, you don't need a local person, but there are some places, Montana, Oregon, some cities in Arizona, that you have to have someone who could physically respond within 30 minutes to 60 minutes, 24/7. If called upon by the police or city for anything. It could be a noise complaint, it could be trash cans left out, it could be anything. So that changes a lot of your calculations, because if you need a higher staff that is available 24/7, or if you can't find staff in that area, that kind of changes your ability to invest. So that would be something super helpful at a glance, to just be like, okay, this requires an on-site person or does not.
Yeah. That's a really amazing.
It's like that in Colorado too. I like deep dove into Colorado, and they like some of them even said like your taxes changed based on the fact if the owner has a Colorado ID, like they're an actual resident of the state.
So I didn't show this feature yet because I'm trying to cover everything and I'm missing little holes. So do you see this cash flow underwriting calculator? Jacob, come back.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, cool. I want to talk to you more about this because I'm actually learning from you as much as I'm showing, believe it or not, because you're telling me something that I'm less aware of. So you see, I can adjust the interest rate, adjust the down payment. Okay. Adjust the term length, adjust the landlord insurance, adjust. I can adjust the property management fee. So I'm sure that there's a type of 24/7 property management fee. Is it above 25%?
It depends on the company. I mean, but if you self-manage, so like we have our own property management company, right? That we self-manage our properties that we own. But if you have to hire someone locally, then it changes your return.
100%. So what I would say is you have to adjust. I would adjust in the cash flow calculator. So I would leave that to you to self-regulate, self-manage, self-regulate. So like just put it in there. And by the way, just so everybody knows, like I'm very, very available. If you want a feature added, I will add it. I'm adding right now for the sub-2 community a creative finance calculator right now next to this. It's like a traditional mortgage situation. So like if you have things that you think I should add, I'm happy to add it for you.
If you could create like a flag on it that just says local representative needed or not, that'd be helpful. But I sent you some messages on the DMs. You should reach out to Christian, who is the owner of the One Brokerage, which is part of David Green's team.
You said Christian? You said Christian?
Yeah, Christian. He owns a bunch of short-term rentals. He and David do insurance. They do brokerage all over the US. They do everything from investor loans, HELOCs, to DSCR loans. He's like the expert on how to structure a lot of this.
Yeah, he's a beast. I had him on the podcast.
He'd be a good resource for some of this too.
All right, I'll put it in, but wouldn't it just come under ordinances? Like when we call and we're like, what's the ordinance? They would just be like, and you need a local rep, right?
Yes, it would say that.
Okay, so then probably we cover it. I just never gotten a live. I haven't spoken to too many people like in the Montana market at all. Actually have, so you're in the Montana market right now?
No, I skipped that. I bought this last one in Arizona because of that.
Is AZ like that?
Not the city I bought in.
Uh-huh. Well, very cool point. I just learned something, so thank you. And if it's in the ordinances, we probably already have it, but maybe we need to shine a bigger light on it, is what you're saying. So I will just mark that down because we want to dominate the SDR world and you are helping me do that. So I really appreciate it. See, I get something out of this very much. So I appreciate that and I will respond to your DMs. I have 2 more in the chat. San Juan Islands require permit with specific annual requirements. San Angelo, Texas also requires a local kind of. Okay, cool. So if we're calling these places, we probably already have this in the ordinance. Okay, guys. So if it's in the ordinance and the county told us, we already have it. But to Jacob's point, like it affects your numbers because you're paying a lot of money for 24/7 round the clock service. And like, I don't know, you know, I can't self-manage 24/7 myself. So, you know, kudos to whoever can do that because you guys are beasts. Yeah, San Juan Islands, I didn't know that either. Very cool. Great points. I'm learning some new things here. Any other questions we have so far? I think so far, these are really good questions. I got a lot of firsts tonight.
I have one question. Okay, so when it's pulling this estimated revenue, estimated book days, estimated daily rate, do you have the ability to look at the adjacent comps that it's pulling this information from, to where you could see like, you know, the design, the photography, the amenities that are adjacent to the thing that you're looking at?
I love that question. Okay, right now, no, but we are adding a feature. So like all these pins, like you can click on a pin and these pins are just for sale properties with the comps on it. But what you're asking is like, could I see a similar property Airbnb in the area? We are working on that right now. So like so we're not ready yet, but you would have like you would see an Airbnb pin on the map and you would just click on it. It would just take you to Airbnb like, oh, look, I actually see their calendar and I see their description. I see their photos and I see like everything. And it would be like a very inverted way of looking at your investment. So we're working on that. It's actually in the queue. So I'm really excited to tell you that like it's fully in the queue and we're developing it right now. We're trying to add it to all the national parks to start. So that's cool. Great question, by the way. Does the listing? Yes, it does link to Zillow. I'm embarrassed. Okay, hold on. Let me show this to you. Okay, so like under ordinance, if I click view, so I'm going to see who asked that question. I'm going to click view. It takes me right to Zillow. So I can see everything on Zillow, right? Like I see all the photos, I see the agent's number, and all the different things that like I need to know. I see when it was listed, like everything that Zillow does. Like we know how Zillow works. Like we don't need to, you know, I don't need to teach Zillow. So yeah, thank you, Anna. I think that's cool also. And I think Zillow over time, as Fetchit grows, will learn to love Fetchit because it'd be like, you're giving us tons of traffic. That's crazy. So we're really excited about that. Thank you, Anna. Great question. Really good, very good attention to detail questions, guys, for real. Just like shout out to the Carwell's community, for real. And I got some product ideas, which is like what I love the most. Cool. Any other questions? I think so far, like these are really excellent. I hope everybody likes this because like we put a lot of work into it and we have a really awesome team and like we know it's not perfect yet. I don't know if it ever will be, but we're gonna work every day to add more things to it all the time.
Is it just available in the US right now, or can we look at properties out of the country?
Ooh, that's such a good idea too. Yo, Jacob, you want to be friends? It's only the US. Great question. So I'm gonna go take everybody back to like when I started. So like when I started, I was on I'm still on a shoestring budget, but like super shoestring budget. And I was like, I can't pay for AirDNA like nationally. Like whoever does, like good for you. Like, tell me how you made your money.
Baller, and we need them to be on the podcast. That's
Yeah,
it.
like, what the hell? So anyways, I wanted to make it also like more affordable. Like, I couldn't afford it. I'm like, hopefully, knock on wood, soon I could afford it, because it's a great tool. They're an amazing company. But I just like, I wanted it, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to like, keep in mind, I was in the stage of my Airbnb journey where I was like deciding to build in Joshua Tree or the Smokies, the Joshua Tree, or like somewhere in Texas. And like, no, not yet. Great question, Cassidy. By the way, if you guys have idea for leading demand indicators or demographics that you want me to add, we will add them. A lot of this is public data that we just have to write some code to make it in the Fetchit platform. So if you have demand indicators, Cassidy, check if you have travel demographics, just tell me what they are and I will add them. Like, you will see, like, what we'll create is a community of people like, oh my God, Yonatan actually added what he said he would add. Like, if it's impossible, I'll tell you also, but most of the time it's very possible. I totally lost my train of thought, but bringing it back, all the people said I had ADHD as a kid, but it seems like it's working out. So when I wanted to compare markets, I couldn't like compare markets because it's like by a city, by a county. And I'm like, well, I can't, and I need like to know the whole everything. And I was like calling people in host camp that like were already very established. And like, who is this Yonatan guy? He's super annoying. Like calling me, doesn't even have, like, I couldn't give them anything. They were giving me things. So like eventually I was like, all right, I'm gonna hell yeah, Jacob. So eventually that was like the inspiration behind the tool. I'm like, you got to give everybody the country, because like otherwise, like you're kind of like shooting a rocket into like a random place like that you heard of on YouTube. It's kind of stupid. Like, if you're lucky enough to see the Carwells, like they'll tell you that cool markets. If you're lucky enough to see Rob or et cetera, like other very smart, thoughtful people, but maybe they didn't. And they just kind of like landed in, I don't know. So like, that's why this exists like that, because I kind of wanted an affordable solution for the country.
And the space needs it badly because the AirDNA is not cheap.
AirDNA is cool. I think like my vision for this is like, my vision for Fetchit, not that anyone asked, I'll just tell you the ordinance is the only thing I'm looking for from the site. I would like to pay to have that locked in and fully detail all the info on the specific with the purpose and what's needed. Doesn't fully exist anywhere, and if a company fully made it. Cool, Misty. So I hope you sign up. I love that. Great compliment. So my vision for Fetchit is like, if I'm somebody that is a doer, if I'm of the tribe of doers, and I'm yeah, 100% Cassidy. That's what we all want in properties. We want 75 and up. Let's go. What I want is Fetchit, which I really love the name that we selected. I want this to be the place that when you're looking for a property, you go to Fetchit because it saves you time. When you're looking to manage your property, you go to Fetchit because it saves you time. When you're looking to learn as fast as possible, you go to Fetchit because it saves you time and leaves the guessing out of it. So that's what I want Fetchit to be for short-term rentals. I want it to really have the best product for short-term rentals. And what I have told everybody since they've joined, and people have, and by the way, I started this thing, it was originally a newsletter pre-Christmas. Like I started this as a newsletter for host camp members, and it's since like evolved a lot to version 1 of the product, now version 2. What I've told people is like the price that you buy in at, I will lock you in at for life. Like I'll never bump you up. Like I might bump up the public, but I'll never change in your stripe. Your stripe remains the same, which means you're getting in at that situation, and I'll never want to raise it. And the reason is, back when I was getting started, I just felt like I didn't know what software to pick, and everything was expensive, and I just didn't know what to do. So that's kind of like, I may raise it to the outside. Don't get nervous. Like that's because, oh, you know, we need to make money as a business. But if you got in early, you got in early, and that's where you're in at. And that's been like my prompt. There are people that got in as a $20 a month newsletter, which is what it was. It's not like that anymore. But yeah, always felt a saturation indicator. That's an amazing idea. Yeah, total numbers of STRs. Yeah, saturation indicator is good. Actually, Airbnb knows that, by the way, and they don't release it to the public. Just so you know, I had a friend who worked at Airbnb data analytics, and he's like, I actually know which markets have a supply issue and need more supply. So there are ways for me to calculate that. Yeah, so great point by Clinton. Anybody that wants to, again, everybody that wants to give me these types of recommendations, follow me on Instagram and DM them to me. I'll feed them to my team on Slack. So definitely do that. And I would love to do this again for the community. I'm a huge Carl's super fan. So yeah.
And then what is the monthly cost for this right now?
Cool. So there's a couple ways to get in. So let me just pull that up. Actually, Sarah, do you mind if you screen share and pull it up? Because I have it locked on a certain thing on my desktop because I'm already a user. I don't want to log out. Just go to www.fetchit.ai. I'll give you back the host thing. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, just take the host back from me.
All right.
By the way, shout out to everybody with amazing questions. This was really great. Okay, so go to pricing. Okay, cool. So if you go, you see that, okay, so I'm gonna just break it down for everybody. So right now until the end of the week, I'm doing a 30% discount if you buy it for the year today. And then you could also buy it monthly. So like by the year, you're locked in at a discount if for $37.45 a month. But Sarah, if you can click that toggle for a second. And if you just buy it monthly, it's $53.50 a month. So I'm by the way, just heads up, I'm raising the prices and eliminating the discount at the end of the week. So for those that are trying to join, I hope you join tonight because we're going to eliminate that. And we added the yearly because we want to get people really like invested into the platform and really like see us grow throughout the year. Because I could just tell you that like for people that have seen me since just HostCon, we've evolved a lot. And you can imagine like I'm doing this 24/7 throughout the year. We're going to be adding from zoning to ordinances to all these indicators you're requesting. Like we're going to do all of it for you.
Amazing.
So this is like the one-stop shop for finding a property, helping you find a property, helping you manage the property. And yeah, I mean, this is like a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Software. That's really cool. That's super awesome.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, Lauren. And by the way, thanks for the audience and the great questions. This was like really, really helpful for me because I actually learned a lot tonight. Also, there were things that I didn't think of to put into this. So a lot of these Zooms are very helpful for me because I go back to the product team and the product team never is customer facing. So they have no idea. They might think something's cool and it's useless. So like this is very, very helpful. Some kind things that stuck out to me were like that the ordinances really make this worth signing up for outside of everything else. And that really means a lot to me because things like the LTR thing that I've really fought with my product team to add makes sense because it's like if your ordinances change, like you might be screwed on a short-term rental. Like you might need to switch to a long-term rental and that protects your investment and your money. Things like that stuck out to me, saturation indicators, travel demographics, like the 24/7 maintenance thing, which I didn't even know about, which I'm sure is in our ordinances. Like those were some highlights from just want to give you guys a lot of love. Those were really smart things that stuck out in my head. And yeah, I hope everybody signs up. For those that do, you will be my brother. This is a brotherhood, sisterhood, familyhood for life. I'm really also trying to build like a lot of community. The Carwells have inspired me a lot. Like I'm like taking a lot of cues from them. And I hope that I want to be like the short-term rental tech company, data company with a personality and that like really listens to what people need. And I'm like face forward doing that. So I hope, God willing, if you sign up tonight, that you'll see that I'll respond to your requests. I'll respond to everything that you ask for really quickly. And I'm going to talk about it very publicly. Can you be notified if an ordinance changes? Right now, no, but we're just going to add it. That is a very cool feature, Frank. That's a really cool feature. And I'm going to write that down.
But if the ordinances change, typically from what I've seen is like you're grandfathered into what, how do I say this? Like, they're not just going to spring a change on you. They're going to usually give you some time, like from the from the several city, not podcasts, but like I'll watch the city hearings or city council hearings in like Colorado from different areas that I'm looking to invest in. And it's not like they just say like by tomorrow you have to do all these things. Like they give you a good amount of time to be able to go back and, properly adjust financially for those changes within your business is what I've seen. I don't have personal experience with it.
100%. 100%. Great point. Great point. Yeah, this was really cool. Do you guys have any more questions? I'm literally here for you guys. I'm just trying to build for you guys. I don't see any more questions. Should I drop like my website, my ads and all that stuff in the chat?
Yeah, we'll send out an email to everyone who signed up for this webinar as well with the recording so you can reference back to it. And then we'll have your Instagram handle and the website and things like that linked.
Cool.
So if you are interested in getting signed up, that'll hit your inbox shortly after we are done here or first thing tomorrow morning. But thank you so much for hopping on. I think that what you're building is like desperately needed in the space. We've been leaning on AirDNA for far too long, and we do not enjoy paying that big, hefty monthly bill by any means. So this is definitely filling a gap in the space that exists.
Thank you. I appreciate that. By the way, shout out to Emily. I'm not sure if I said hi at the beginning. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I feel. I want to build a new tool that is a little bit different than the way tools have been built before. There's a little bit more of a human element to it. And from the not just the data, not just the ordinances, but like managing it. Or, if you want a little bit of coaching from different operators, like eventually it's going to be geographical. You want to talk to somebody in Shenandoah Valley or something. Like I want to talk to, I don't know anything about the market. What's it like? Like things like that. So I hope that I'm so happy that it resonates. It really means a lot. I'm putting like my 24/7, my life into it. And so I really appreciate it, everybody. And you know where to find me. And thank you for the audience, Emily and Sarah. Really thank you.
Absolutely. One last question that I have for you, because I know that there are a few people on this call that it might be relevant to. How do we get signed up to be someone that people could reach out to for one-on-one consultations for specifics? Like if we specialize in something, how do we get listed on that educator side?
I think I saw something in your eye when I was talking about it. I think we should do that right away for you guys. I would say like this, Emily and Sarah, like that's a lock. Everybody else, what normally I do is like, I haven't been actively recruiting. I've been getting a lot of inbound actually. Like and then they see my posts. They're like, I want to be you're talking about being a coach. You guys are locked. I don't have to check, but everyone else, I would say like they need to write a bio and then send me their Airbnb listings. And then I need to review, like, do I like the listings? Because I don't know if I showed this to you guys, each coach, the way, I believe it was Anna that asked, and I'm sorry if I got this wrong, does it link out to Zillow? So on the coaching, it links out to their Airbnb host profile.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, like, it's not like I just made $2 billion on Airbnb. What up? It's like, no. Show me your host profile. Like I want to see your listings and your photos and your reviews. And so everybody, one of the coaches does that. And so our team like looks at it and we're like, okay, do we like this? So we already know what you do, but for everybody else that's interested, I would say I need like a 1-page bio and your Airbnb host link, and then we'll get back to you.
And your credit score, and you got to be a super host and
Your firstborn.
No. I know what you mean. I mean, there are people that like, there's Sub2 exists because of people that have bad credit that want to do real estate. So partially. So we just want to know that you treat guests amazingly, and if you have a bunch of reviews, we already know. You can't fake that. Those reviews are hard to earn.
Absolutely, yeah, they are. They come at the cost of your mental health some days.
Yeah. And by the way, I just had a war on my Cleveland unit where they like destroyed all my chairs, and I was like, okay, like we'll get into that later. I was like, okay, I won't leave you a bad review, but like maybe like take care of me, and like I won't, they broke my really expensive chairs. It's like, why would you do that? Yeah, well, anyways, guys, you know where to find me. It sounds like you guys got the email thing down pat, which is amazing. And if you need me, I'm out there. And thank you so much for the audience, everybody.
Absolutely. And if you go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say these recordings usually take a while to download for some reason, so I will try to get it out tonight, but you guys might be getting it early in the morning. And yes, hi Yoni, sorry, you guys can't see my face because I'm not feeling the best today, so didn't want to put you guys in that.
Perfect. Well,
good.
thank you so much again for joining us. And we will be sending out that email and we'll go from there. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you again for going through all of this with us, and we will catch you guys next time.
I always enjoy hanging out with people smarter than me.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. We'll see y'all later.
Take care.